in reviewing the testimony and the other materials, where did you identify that Mr. Enfield had exposure to asbestos?
When he worked at the company that had several names. One of them was PPG, and one of them was called, I think it was called asbestos. It was National Starch and Chemical Company, and it was PPG, and then I believe it was Rubber and Asbestos. So it was the same company or same facility. It just, I don't know exactly why they changed their name or if they got bought out or whatever, but same place, different names that he worked at over the course of his career.
And I'd like you to assume for the purposes of my next series of questions that over 50,000 pounds of union carbide chrysotile asbestos was shipped to that facility at which Mr. Edenfield worked at 225 Belleville Avenue in Bloomfield, New Jersey. I want to take it back because I want to make sure it's very clear. So I'd like you to assume that between the years of 1969 and 1984, that over 50,000 pounds of union carbide chrysotile asbestos was shipped to that facility at 225 Belleville Avenue where Charlie worked, and that it was incorporated into products made at that plant until 1985. Okay?
Yes.
And with that assumption in mind about the shipments and use of union carbide's chrysotile asbestos, and keeping in mind the materials you reviewed, including the testimony, do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to whether union carbide's chrysotile asbestos was a substantial factor in causing Charlie Edenfield's mesothelioma?
No objection.
Overruled.
Yes.
And what is your opinion?
That exposure to asbestos was a substantial contributing factor to his mesothelioma.
And can you explain that opinion, please?
He, my understanding is he worked in the powder room, where he was measuring the various compounds or measures that went into the various products that the company made, and he would be measuring out these dry ingredients that he would get from the storeroom, would be brought and would pour them out, measure them out, and then they would be transported into the various areas where they'd be churned or whatever the room they were in for the mixing. He was also involved, there were other people working in that area who were doing similar activities, so he had bystander exposure from others. He also swept up at the end of the day. Anything that fell onto the ground, it was part of his responsibilities as a laborer to clean the area. So he had continued exposure to anything that might have spilled. It was, or one of the ingredients that he was working with was asbestos that he was manipulating. And we know asbestos causes mesothelioma based on the scientific literature, based on various regulatory agencies. So he had the exposure. He was doing tasks where asbestos becomes airborne from those type of tasks, particularly when you're pouring bags of asbestos. And he did over a period of time. And he developed a cancer that's associated with asbestos. He also had markers of asbestos exposure, including the plaques. He had scarring in his lungs as well that are associated with asbestos. So he has exposure. He's got markers in his body of asbestos exposure. He's got an asbestos cancer. And he had the amount of time that's necessary for when someone's exposed to developing